Yeah, I
Nice,
said some
nice.
stuff I'm embarrassed about.
So select the drone option, and then if
Yes.
you really want to get it to your place, check the box that says
Exchange
Stop.
for blood.
"Stop at nothing," and then the drone will release its safety restraints, and it'll come blasting through your wall, and it'll be like, "Here's your
Man style.
Cheerios." Exactly. All ED 209.
It's a giant Jeff Bezos head filled with all of your goods.
Yeah.
Floating around like a Zardoz.
Exactly.
Vomits it all onto your floor.
Okay.
Yes.
I have selected
The Bezos
Yogurt
is good.
covered
Venus is evil.
raisins. Yogurt covered raisins with the drone option with the safety protocol turned off.
Nice.
Stop at nothing.
Mhm.
And I should have my yogurt covered raisins shot into my face in 2 hours.
You should
So
have
let's
plenty-
record before this happens.
You should have plenty of blood on your hands by nightfall. There will be a trail of carnage left by the robot that you have hired to do your bidding. Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Balding.
I am Roger Norquist, and I just learned that Quaker oatmeal apparently is a premium breakfast item from Amazon Fresh.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, heck yeah.
You don't want to see that the old brutal King James oatmeal.
The oatmeal that wrought the book Demonology, citing the way to destroy all of the demons in the Key of Solomon.
Exactly. Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by the Monstroco Knowing Mirror. Tired of having a mirror that doesn't show you a portent of things to come based on the demeanor of the figure reflected therein? Say goodbye to not knowing with the Monstroco Knowing Mirror. Does your reflection look stoked? Better buy a lotto ticket. Bummed? Maybe stay off the internet today. Massive head wound with rats gnawing on the goo inside? Run if you want. There is no escape. The Knowing Mirror by Monstroco. What the fuck? Knowing Mirror knows all. I had one installed in the bathroom, and every morning I get up and I check, and if my body has like a big hole in the chest or something, I try to stay away from cannons for that day.
It's a good call. Mine just always looks with the same dead expression.
That's fine. That's honestly pretty good. Like the cannonball thing.
I thought I should be worried about my mental health.
Well, I mean, if it seems to be getting worse day after day, you might want to look into some other Monstroco products, some revivifying demon ichor, some glee eye replacements. You could get those glee eyes that make everything gleeful.
Well, you know what it is? Actually, I think I have it set to Dorian Gray mode. So it's
there you go. I will say that as the ad copy says, there is no escaping it. So you do have to ultimately take the cannonball, but there are plenty of Monstroco products that will bring you back in what some could call a form of life.
What if mine shows no reflection?
Oh boy, you need to call the number
Okay.
on the back of the mirror. So go step through the mirror and look at it from the other side. There should be a number.
1666.
Okay, here
Monstroco.
I'm looking at the number and it just says 7 days. Okay, that's even worse.
Well, since I have 7 days,
Yeah.
can I go on and start this episode, grab the talking skull, and
think you
go
better.
over some alien stuff?
I really think you better.
Absolutely.
Well, for the last segment I will ever do, because the mirror has
God.
decreed it so.
But I hope you don't actually die now. That would be the
Oh,
worst
boy.
and funniest thing that's ever happened on this show.
I'm going over the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac. We've gone over a few species, both benevolent and malevolent.
Yes.
It took me a while not to say malevolence.
Nice.
Which is not the character's name.
Mm-hmm.
What is the character's name? Malevolent?
Malevolent. No, is it?
Anyway, Disney's not what we're
Are you talking about the Disney
character?
Monster?
Maleficent.
Maleficent.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
she's not a ship we're going to be talking about.
Mhm.
We're talking about the fleet ships of the Galactarian alignment of planets and space peoples.
One of the better ships available.
Yes. I have a number of ships. And to start, we're going to talk about what the basic ships are. This is under the fleet ships section. Fleet ships are designed to perform many functions, including planetary and interplanetary travel, time travel, and thought jumps.
Oh, thought jumps. Oh boy.
We'll go into
I feel
it.
like I have thought jumps all the time.
Yeah, my ship would be jumping to boobies a lot. You know what I mean? Whoops.
So fleet ships plot a course from their point of origin and arrive at their destination by traveling on a charted navigational beam. You know how we gleam the cube here? They ride the beam.
Ride the
Surf it
beam,
even.
baby.
Yeah.
Think of it as a monorail in outer space, with the beam being the track and the ship being the monorail.
The thing is, I already
Monorail.
think of monorails as being in outer space.
Yeah, when I think of a monorail, it's definitely zipping through a kind of a dark and infinite starry limbo.
I kind of picture, though, what they have in, what's that anime called? Cowboy Bebop. And, you know, like you enter it and just kind of a straight beeline to where you want to go. And you can take another one or you can stay here. It's really fast. Like it's a 20-minute ride altogether. Gate travels.
Sure.
Thank you. Oh, I'll turn the page. Sorry, there we go. Fleet ships have ultra advanced force fields. They are equipped with deflection weaponry and all the latest spiritual technologies, which we'll get into sometime.
You got to fight other aliens and ghosts.
Some are defense craft. Some of the alien species, like we got over the Bisonites, and I think we did some reptilians, and I think we did some insectoids. Some of the aliens, all those use like technology that we kind of would use and conceive of. But then some of them are straight up angels and use spiritual technology, and they pray for their light.
Good Lord. That's pretty cool. That's like, that reminds me of like in Destiny, there's like hive technology is very close to being just a religion.
Yes. Kind of similar, but more fleshy. The Archangel Michael is, anyway, part of the spiritual technology.
Okay.
He's their Sid, kind of.
Whoa, really?
If you're familiar with your Final Fantasies and what Sid does.
Cool.
The crew capacity is 100, 200, or 300, depending on the mission of the ship. Star Nations have many ship models, but most are saucer-shaped. Other shapes, including boomerang, egg, domed, flattened with bottom and top dome protrusions,
and hilarious latex butt.
and triangle. And then, of course, latex butt. Space is not an issue on board any vessel. The Galactarian worlds use contraction and expansion technology based on the same contraction and expansion principles of the universe.
Sure.
What they're saying is that Doctor Who thing, it's bigger on the inside.
Right.
For instance, a small egg-shaped craft from the outside looks like it might only fit 2 people. But once inside, there is an appearance of infinity. The laws of physics here are obsolete, even obliterated, as the texts say.
And no one would say that this was taken directly from the TARDIS.
All craft are able to hide in a pocket dimension that they use to cloak, or in another dimension to monitor this dimension from real-time screens. The fleet is linked to the databanks of the Living Library of the Akasha, also known as the Akashic Records, where all life is recorded, the soul being the recorder. There's a writer inside of all of us, everyone.
You've done everything.
Everything. Even inside the bathroom, Jimmy.
Yeah, especially in there. When you go to the bathroom, the Akashic Soul Recorder cranks it up.
Fleet ships are just as agile in the water as they are in air, probably due to the advanced force fields, in complete control of the elements. Upon entry into any body of water, a slippery cocoon of light surrounds the craft.
Cool. Honestly, makes a lot of, really kind of gels with what we're seeing and learning about USOs these days.
Yes. Yep. Everyone is saying that USOs have like a slippery light on them. And when you touch them, the light comes on you, and then your fingers are kind of slippery.
And then you're slippery. And don't fall in the ocean, because you will fall right to the bottom.
That protective barrier allows it to slip through liquid easier, so kind of making it less friction, obviously. It is also designed not to disturb ocean life.
Nice
just kind of parts them away a little bit, you know.
Now let's do a little bit of some ships that we might have heard about in the society. We have motherships.
Okay.
So mothership, the most common shape for motherships is spherical. Other designs resemble a giant oval or a traveling country.
Whoa.
You know, like Germany, but in space.
Yeah, you know, the shape that is a country. It's country shaped.
It's country shaped.
Now, what if they're talking
about? You mean like a cowboy boot with a spur on it?
Yeah, what if they're talking about like CMT country? Oh shit, here it comes.
Travel that guitar. Colossal mothercraft can house 7 million or more. There are science labs, organic consciousness engineering labs, command centers, science centers, spiritual centers, star centers, spiritual technology stations, farms, outdoor environments, indoors, and creative arts environments, where I assume it's just a bunch of hippie aliens painting.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds fun. I want to be on that one. That one sounds like a rumpus room. Shag carpet, some Newhart on the tube.
Nude alien in the center. Everyone's drawn.
Everywhere.
Absolutely. Everybody's drawn that nude alien. Or is it dressed? I don't know what's happening here. What am I looking at?
Give me a pencil. Motherships have ultra advanced force fields as well. They are equipped with every advantage in space exploration, defense, and deflection weaponry, and all the latest spiritual technologies. From their point of origin, like 7 Bibles on each mothership, just in case. Not everyone uses this, but it is a form of spiritual technology. From their origin point, motherships plot a course to their destination, then ride a navigational beam upon entering interspace continuum. Like we said, it is a monorail in space. Motherships can also enter a pocket dimension to spy on us. They are linked to the Akashic Records. If you're a visitor from another world in the multiverse, the mothership automatically scans your biological and spiritual bodies to tend to your every need. Every need.
Every need.
Mothership.
Aw.
For instance, if you require a special type of oxygen.
Sounds more like a stepmother ship, you know?
Easy now.
I've got a lot of body takes today. So
that's for our Pornhub channel video. This is just the normal one. For YouTube, For instance, if you require a special type of oxygen, it will create a life support system around you in the form of an invisible cocoon.
I wanted it to be visible.
From food.
I mean, it might be depending on what kind of air it is.
Yeah, it'll be visible once I fart in that sucker.
From food to shifting densities to anything that might be required, all is taken care of. So if you got a hankering for katsu, bingo bango, you got katsu.
God,
although it's not clear if it is in the invisible cocoon or they're going to make you katsu.
No, the cocoon fills with katsu and curry.
And you're bathing in it, just eating around you.
Yeah. I want chicken nugget. No, not that many.
We can go over some of these, but I'm going to wrap up my segment soon. We have Merkabah vehicles, which are the vehicles of the angelic corps, which only use spiritual technology.
Okay.
We have plasma craft. We have thought ships, and then scout ships, which let's do scout ships, and then I'll wrap up. It's a nice short one. Scout ships are small craft that gather environmental information on explorative worlds inside of cosmic bodies. But this is probably more of the ships that we see on average if UFOs are in fact craft. It more than likely is a scout ship gathering environmental information on us. They have capabilities to map, measure, and take samples. Other scout ships are larger and usually hold up to 3 to 8 people for scientific excursions. Orb or pod-shaped are the most common designs of these, which I think fits the description of most UFOs and some USOs.
And we love an orb, folks.
Yep.
Aquatic scout ships are just as agile as in water as they are in air, as we said, thanks to a slippery light shield. What do you think that is? Someone draw that.
I'm trying to imagine.
Listen, draw that.
And it's kind of like, like a frictionless sort of photonic fifth type of matter, almost like an engram type thing where it's made of light, but the particles are so close together and arranged in such a way that nothing touches it, or maybe it's just super hot. Can you imagine
Could just be a plasma coating?
Yeah.
Thing?
Yeah. Can you imagine heating a frying pan to 8 billion degrees Kelvin or whatever, and then dropping it in a pool? It wouldn't even get wet.
But you would see steam. Do we see steam with some USOs? I bet we do. We do see some steam every once in a while.
Steam.
I don't know.
But Jordan is correct. There's so much physics that we don't know as laymen that happens on a daily basis in the universe.
In the sun? Are you kidding me? We don't know what's going on in the sun.
So all ships can probably do this. However, scout ships, it is a feature of them is that specialty scout ships can travel to unknown multiverses to gather information.
Cowboy Planet,
Cowboy Universe, where all planets are cowboys, suns are horses, the black holes are, I don't know, coal,
and the moon has a hat on.
And the moon has a hat on. But that's my segment.
Wow.
Ships of the Galactarian Alignment from the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, MUFON in parentheses. I love this. I don't buy books often, but this is a fun book.
It's very cool. And we've gotten fucking miles of podcast out of it. And I'm having a lot of fun. Weirdly, I'm not a particularly spiritual or religious guy. That's not true. I'm fairly spiritual. I have a podcast about ghosts.
Yeah, but I do too, and I'm not spiritual.
I'm not a particularly religious guy, but I'm weirdly interested in that the Angel Corps ship. I want to hear about that.
Go over them
fucking
soon.
Flying tabernacle that those dudes are singing in.
Would you like to see an archangel before we wrap up? Let me get to the page. Angelic Corp.
Wait, can you tell me "Be Not Afraid," please?
Yeah. One moment.
Oh boy, I feel like I'm going to be afraid.
Be not afraid.
Oh, it's so much more horrible than I could have imagined.
I am Archangel Michael.
You know who was the coolest spaceman of all? Jesus Christ.
I like on the Archangel Michael's everything. There's a clearly photoshopped heart with an M on it.
Yeah.
And it's every part of his hilt, and then just straight a medallion or a patch on his cloth.
Yeah, you know,
how else are you gonna know who he is?
Yeah, what if he leaves his vestments or his gleaming blade laying around or something, and somebody's like, "Whose vestments and gleaming blade is this?" Oh, wait, there's an M on it. You know, M.
Wait.
You know the letter invented on Earth by humans, M. It's all over this thing.
This whole book does presuppose that language, specifically the Latin alphabet and Hebrew for some of them, were inventions of aliens, and that's why Latin and Hebrew are witch languages. They got magic.
Okay. Okay. Well, you would think that then Michael would be using the Hebrew or Latin version of M, but instead he's using the one.
Yeah, he chose. You know what?
Yeah,
I'm more Christian than Jewish, man. I'm going to use the Latin alphabet versus the Hebrew alphabet now.
This motherfucker has the biggest youth pastor vibes I've ever seen, and I would be so bummed if a spaceship landed and this dude got out and fucking started singing "I Want to Drive the Zamboni" on his fucking acoustic guitar.
So what if he got out and he was like, "We have a big screen with NBA Jam."
Well, we're gonna go into it and
foreplay.
I mean, that would be fucking cool, but you know, I've heard that line before, youth pastor. I don't know how to keep a secret, so don't even try any business.
The angelic core are very extra on some stuff.
Yeah.
They're very preachy. They're a very preachy bunch.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Here's my big question about aliens recently.
Sure.
Is if they're here and they've been here.
Yeah, now, in fact.
Why are they helping with anything?
We've gone over this actually, but it's kind of been like a smaller note because we're going over like their beliefs and other things. But on some of their cosmic agendas, it straight up is that they are to indirectly kind of like sticking carrot humanity to enlightenment. Like they're behind us by some distance and they got like a stick with a treat on us, and we're heading towards that, and we don't even see them. It is very manipulative.
It is, and I don't care about your fucking gigantic cosmic agenda. If an alien spaceship crashed and there was aliens on fire, I would drag them out and put them out. If an alien had a stomach ulcer and I had the medicine to make it go away instantly, I would give the alien the ulcer medicine. Give me medicine for my ulcer, aliens. Can I have the speaking skull?
I agree with that. And that's kind of the plot of Alien Nation.
Yeah.
Think about it. Everyone watch that movie. Don't worry about the TV show. The movie's way worse. Watch the movie.
If you really want to hurt yourself.
Yeah, I give you the speaking skull. I forgot to turn it on, so I'm not sure if anything I said was recorded, but here you go.
Missed
it's
all those
on
gloops.
now.
It missed
the bloops.
Gloops.
Listen to the news.
Nate, is this okay? Would you like the speaking skull, or is it okay if I take it? All right, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to put it on over my normal skull. Ow! I'm going to wait for it to dig its spurs into my flesh. There we go. Speaking skull engaged. I am now speaking with the voice of the radar. I am going to dip back into my segment that was brought to us from the cryptozoology subreddit by user Truth is Fiction YT, which I assume is a YouTube channel. Go check it out. This is a list they put together.
That they're white.
This is, okay, that's true. In which case, don't check it out. Unless this was, maybe they just had to register it like it was an ancient Louisiana Purchase era marriage certificate, as we learned.
Grave Nugget's exciting. Listen to that.
This is a list that, it's going to be a cool couple of weeks. We're learning about the Voodoo Queen herself. Very pumped. So this is a list that they put together of cryptids people have eaten in a segment that I'm calling Hungry Hominids. I don't know. What did I call it last week?
I believe it was Hungry Hominids, although some of them were hominids. I love this segment because I'm a fan and I'm trying to be more vegetarian. My body feels better, but man, I'll try any meat once. I'm into it. I like meats. I like how they taste. They don't do my body good anymore, but I like to try new and exciting animals.
Let me ask you this.
I watched a mukbang video the other day where somebody was chowing down on kangaroo meat.
I'm sorry.
Gross. I hate that shit. It's such a bummer. What does kangaroo meat look like, though?
Well, it was like kangaroo nuggets, man. They were like fried kangaroo pieces.
I hear it's lean meat. I hear it's good for you. I hear it's very proteinaceous.
They said it was a little smoky, not as stringy and tough as they thought it would be.
Interesting. It is weird because they are vegetarians, which I guess seems to be the human fucking water line for whether we're going to eat something or not. Is it an herbivore?
God damn, yeah.
Well,
snakes cross that line, but not really. But that is the line. Like, we don't eat dogs because they eat meat.
Wolves, tigers,
stuffed.
Yeah.
Like a turkey is stuffed.
As we're going to find out in this cryptid cuisine list, people eat snakes.
I eat snakes.
Let me ask you
Give
this.
me a rattlesnake hot dog any day.
Is that what you're eating right now? Is that what that is? Just barely off screen?
Don't bother
struggling
with
for
barely off screen.
Damn life.
I like it fresh.
Let me ask you guys
wriggling
this.
and it's rattling, and I guarantee it's not a baby.
How would you prepare Bigfoot? Because next on the list is Bigfoot.
I think we've talked about this a little bit. I would go Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I'm cracking open that skull, maybe making like a katsu sauce or something like savory and sweet with it. And I'm
on the brain.
And I'm spoon. Yeah,
much like Bigfoot will soon have.
I love that sauce.
It's good.
Anyway,
shit.
I would
make brain foot.
Mm-hmm.
Brain foot, sweet and sourish, sweet and savory sauce with that. Get the memories.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Nate. Any thoughts?
I think he's probably going to have some solid flank or short ribs going on.
Okay, fair enough.
Jordan?
I think I would probably see a stew seems appropriate for Bigfoot because just seems like a slow cooking meat. I think he's going to be tough and gamey from being out there. Right. I'm going to want some salt and some spices to bring that off. But then again, there's a part of me that says steak. A big steak.
I was thinking barbecue.
Yeah, some Ooh, okay.
Okay, here. How about this? Before we go on, we cook Bigfoot like a pig.
Oh God. Oh, and he's just twirling on the spit, looking at us.
I was thinking we do a mound bake on
pitiful
it.
eyes.
We dig mushrooms
and berries.
Because you have to cook them alive, or else you don't get the savoriness.
Yeah, you got to stuff them with mushrooms and berries.
Well, you gotta scare them to get all that adrenal flavor.
Oh boy! And in researching who ate Bigfoot, it's muddy. Bigfoot legends have been around for so long that there's a lot of people claiming to have eaten unknown hominids the world over. But one of the more interesting ones that I came across was YouTube dog trainer Peter Kane, who we have spoken of in the past. Peter Kane is a hilarious YouTuber who lives with all of these wild animals. He trains dogs. He's like kind of a dog whisperer, and he also took YouTube for one of the biggest biggest Bigfoot hoax rides of its life in like 2016, which culminated in him eating a piece of what he claimed to be Bigfoot meat that he said
I forgot all about that.
He said tasted mossy and piney, and then he said that it made his dick grow to immense Bigfoot proportions.
Dude.
At which point YouTube was like, "Are you fucking with us?" And he was like, "Yes, my God, what does it take?" But that one was a little all over the place. Long story short, a lot of people claim to have eaten Bigfoot. Moving on to the next entrance, we're going to talk about the crowing crested cobra. The crowing crested cobra. Cobra.
Never heard of it. Excited to learn.
Okay, the crowing crested cobra are cryptid snakes reported from several Central African nations, particularly Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. Often compared to the mythical cockatrice, perhaps you've heard of that guy, these alleged snakes are distinguished by their cockerel-like vocalizations and similarly Galen crests or wattles. So they'll have, it's like a cobra that has like a cock's crest and a little wattle underneath its chin. Both features do not always occur together, it says. Reports of ordinary-looking snakes making crowing vocalizations are more common.
Weird.
Isn't that weird?
I was wondering if it would crow like a crow, but the answer is yes.
Crowing crested cobras have also been reported from islands in the Caribbean and China, where they are called jingwanshe. A crowing snake, the vivmigata, is also reported from Polynesia, but it is not described as crested.
Can you imagine coming up on what you thought would be a chicken just to find this cobra hissing at you now?
God, getting woken up by a rooster and being like, "Oh, what a beautiful." It's in the room.
Oh, God. It's the specter of death.
Yeah. Here's some attestations. Type of mamba with crest-like markings on its head, known to Africans and Arabs alike, is what is now Mozambique and Tanzania. Here is a quote. Susi, to whom this snake is known in the Shupanga tongue as bubu, describes it as about 12 feet long, dark in color, of a dirty blue underbelly with red markings like the wattles of a cock on the head. So it's not exactly that it has these wattles, but apparently it's markings, according to Susi. The Arabs go so far as to say that it is known to oppose the passage of a caravan at times. Twisting its tail round a branch, it will strike one man after another in the head with fatal certainty. Their remedy is to fill a pot with boiling water, which is put on the head and carried under the tree. The snake The snake dashes his head into this and is killed. The story is given for what it is worth. Very, very weird. And as far as eating it goes, allegedly a man named Arthur Connerton also collected accounts of the crowing crested cobra in 1965 while traveling the Congo Basin. Charles Cordier received a description of a large crested snake. This one said to be both arboreal and aquatic from his men, which he published in 1973. Quote, an aquatic snake at least 15 meters long. Meters.
That's longer than what I just showed.
That is too big.
What would that be? That's like 40, 45 feet?
That is a big boy. An aquatic snake at least 15 meters long, which can be seen stretched out on one or two trees along a bank. It has a red crest on its head. Two of my men told me that they had eaten one recently and that its flesh was pink, not white like that of other snakes.
The crowing crested cobra, the only pink meat.
There you go. yeah. The other pink meat. I guess it is the only one. Huh? Oh, clowns.
Yes, clowns.
Yeah. Well, but their meat's also meat. a little more cotton candy style.
Right. It's you get a big wad of clown meat on one of those cones. All right, for our next entry, we're going to go back to Stellar. Remember Stellar?
Vaguely.
The country?
No, the guy who discovered the stellar sea lion and the stellar sea ape, which ran away when people shot at it, like a coward.
After it was doing tricks, if I remember right. It was doing tricks, and then they were like, "Well, let's see if it can dodge bullets."
That is exactly what happened. Yes. So stellar sea cow is actually an animal that we have proof of. It was in the fossil record. It is an extinct sirenian, like a dugong or a manatee or something. And George Willem Stellar, who apparently made a life out of just fucking haranguing the peaceful denizens of the deep, said that it was quite tasty. So apparently that one was just fucking eaten into extinction straight up.
It was quite tasty.
Yeah. Next up on the list, we are going to look at the Ngubu. Ngubu. Ngoubous. This is a neodinosaurian cryptid, according to cryptidarchives.fandom.com. Neodinosaurian cryptid ungulate. Ungulate is like a hooved animal, or I think it means like split hooved. Anyway,
are we talking? We got ourselves a dino cow.
Cows are ungulates, yeah, pretty much. It is reported from eastern Cameroon. It is described as a rhinoceros-like animal, similar to another cryptid known as the Imelantuka of the Republic of Congo. The term Ngubu is non-specific, being applied to two supposedly distinct cryptids, one savanna-dwelling, the other amphibious, and to known animals. It is sometimes also applied to the Mkolembembe, which, as we know, is also on our list of cryptids that people ate.
If I remember right, that one was poisonous.
Yes, the flesh was poisonous.
Which I think we could use some of the fortune and maybe get ourselves a master chef to find a slice that is not poisonous.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the puffer fish.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got to get that lean stripe out of the middle near the back.
Thus instilling our vitality with forever juice.
Yes, indeed. Michael Ballett describes the Ngubu as an animal with a single sharp horn on its head, which is much feared by Baka fishermen. Both types are depicted in Baka illustrations as similar, bulky-bodied, rhinoceros-like quadrupeds with short tails and armored bodies. This sounds like some kind of aquanoceros. According to Baka people interviewed by Gibbons, don't know who Gibbons is, but he's getting thrown in there. The Savannah Ngubu is the size of an ox with a beaked mouth, a small elephant-like tail, a single nasal horn, and a series of 6 horns around a supposed frill. It sounds like a triceratops.
Triceratops, yeah.
I forgot what the exact type was, but yeah, there's a number of them. Multiple styled numbered horns, but it's definitely that frilled armed reptile.
Yeah, I guess not a triceratops because it only has the one horn, but some kind of ceratops, protoceratops. He adds that it is generally said to possess just 2 or 3 horns. Well, there you go.
Okay, well.
It is said to bear live young, and adults have occasionally been observed with calves. There isn't much... yes, here it is. During November 2000, when Gibbons' expedition was in Cameroon and Ngubu was allegedly shot and killed by villagers of Nedelele, when Cameroonian missionary Pierre Sima arrived at Nedelele 2 days later, he ate what the villagers told him was the flesh from the Ngubu, which he said tasted like pork. The rest of the flesh had been eaten by the villagers, and the bones had been given to the village dogs. The villagers may have sawed off the Ngubu's horns and sold them to French loggers. A party of white men identified as loggers were alleged to have captured a dodu around the same time. Not sure what a dodu is. Let's go ahead and click that hyperlink into madness.
I was always wondering what a saurian would taste like. And like most, I do believe that birds are from that lineage, right? Like birds, for all intents and purposes, are dinosaurs through evolution.
Yeah. I think
so
you'd be talking
they taste
about
more like a chicken for the most part?
I think you'd be talking about like a big ass chicken or something.
Yeah,
that tastes
raptors,
like,
of course, taste like
whatever
chicken.
ostrich tastes like, you know.
All right, we got to get ourselves an ostrich.
Yeah. To lock it in, the dodu is a crypto hominid reported from the rainforests of southeastern Cameroon, described as a large primate with only 3 digits. It's got friggin' what's that, X-Men?
Yeah. Nightcrawler.
Got Nightcrawler hands. Yeah. Pretty cool. Okay. So we'll do one more cryptid that people ate, and then I'll violently remove the speaking skull from my head.
Don't hurt yourself too bad.
I mean, it hurts every time, you know. So let me just Google this one. This is the Uhunu Apaella. Yeah, I'm just going to take a couple of passes for. This is Uhini Pa'awela. Uhini Pa'awela.
Uhini Pa'awela.
Do we want to take a guess at what that might look like, Roger?
Yes, I think it is going to be a kind of like a sloth-like creature.
Oh yeah, that's a good guess.
Oh, geez. We're not finding anything. We got to edit this part out. Bummer. Werewolf Radar, the only podcast with live Google searching. No research. That's our promise.
A little bit of
That's
research.
actually not true. I listen to a lot of podcasts where they have live searching going on.
Nice.
Yeah, the podcast world has really changed from being like crazy professional editing out everything to, well, let's just Google something real quick. 15 minutes of dead silence. Joe Rogan comes back. I learned.
As near as I can tell, the Uhini Pa'awela may be a gigantic snail. Which would have been fucking awesome.
I knew this because it is the name of the fucking snail in Final Fantasy VI.
Ah, damn it.
It is the first boss you fight. It is a gigantic snail. Does this one have electro abilities?
Probably. We're gonna skip that one until I can find
fork from taking it out of its shell.
Until I can find anything else about it. And we're gonna move on to the Lake Nyassa monster, which was apparently eaten as well. Lake monsters have been reported from Lake Nyassa, an African Great Lake located in Malawi, Mozambique, and Tanzania, where such a monster is sometimes called the Dzimwe. It has often been compared to a sea serpent. Here's some attestations for you. Rumors of a lake monster in the Nyassa were first published in a Canadian newspaper, the Manitoba Weekly Free Press, on 25th of June, 1905. The newspaper reported that missionaries working on the shores of Lake Nyassa claimed that a boat belonging to the British administration had been attacked by a sea serpent, which tried to board the boat until it was beaten off with oars. Okay.
Let me up there. I don't want to be in the sea anymore. I want to be a boat monster.
I want to be on there. Oh, God, you guys are beating me off. Oh, don't do that. Don't do it more. The story is reminiscent of Sir Clement Hill's Lukwata sighting, which is another lake monster from Lake Victoria. Further descriptions of a large unknown animal in Lake Nyassa were published in the magazine Animals in 7th of May, 1963. Animals. Have you seen these? Have you heard about these? Which reported that 3 fishermen alongside other locals recently claimed to have seen a giant water serpent with a large dark body and a head raised straight above the water. It was believed to inhabit caves in the lake, not unlike our friend Nessie. Here's some sightings for you. A Tonga fisherman from Bandawe told Duff that he had once seen a, quote, curious amphibian on the lakeshore. He described it as the size of a cow with a zebra's mane and a fish's tail. And in response to Duff's incredulity, later claimed to have eaten it. So he was like, you don't believe I saw it? Fine. I also ate it.
How can you disprove that?
Yeah. That is undated. Here's one from 1905. In 1905, while Duff was, I don't know who Duff is, but I like to think that everybody in the crypto circles do. They're like, yes, Duff. He's like Cher to us. In 1905,
he spells the same with 2 capital F's.
Yes. While Duff was administering West Nyasaland, he was traveling across the lake from Nakata Bay to Rarwi. Anyway, after a violent storm, when he noticed an object floating in deep water near Toto Bay, Duff was initially certain that the object was some kind of mammal or reptile, not an inanimate object, and described it as twice the size of the largest hippopotamus, with shiny leather-like skin and 2 large humps of unequal size. The object made little movement, simply rolling over or swaying lightly, and Duff's boatman identified it as Zimwe, the fabulous monster of the lake, which only rises to the surface after great storms. Duff's companion fired on the object, which sank it into the water. Guys, you gotta stop shooting them.
That creature over there, it's being calm and pleasant.
Look at it. The amazing Zimwe. Could be the last of its kind, you know? Maybe there's only one in all of existence. Bring me its head.
Stop that from continuing.
And that does it for my segment that I'm calling Hungry, Hungry Hominids, based on the fact that humans can and will eat anything with even a little bit of mystery in it. We want to know those mysterious flavors. I will now wrench the speaking skull from my head.
Oh, God. So much blood.
And I will pass it through the internetular interocitor to Nate Balding.
Got it. And I'm going to, using the gore from your head, I'm now going to slide it over this Hello Kitty toaster. So I ran afoul recently. I thought that I knew most of the cryptids of the Colorado area.
Were you
but apparently,
did an old miner come up to you and riddle you 3 about cryptid?
Yes, he did. And you know who had to shovel coal for the rest of eternity? The guy that I pawned that question off on in my party. Because it was an RPG scenario.
Smart
but apparently I didn't. There's a few that I've missed. So I'm going to cover, just one of them right now because of time.
I mean, hit us with 2. One feels short. Hit us with 2.
There's 2 things in here. We'll see what happens. I have to meet some people shortly.
You got to meet people. Jordan's got to eat people. I got to see people.
That's true. Between us, we almost make one normal human interaction. So this is from the sand dune area of Colorado. If you don't know, Colorado is rich with dunage.
Mm-hmm. In fact, all the movies of Dune wanted to shoot here, but tax purposes made them have to shoot elsewhere.
Yeah. They had to go to Arrakis. One of the strangest legends about the dunes is that of the web-footed horses.
Oh.
On bright moonlight nights, or just before sunrise, so it's said, large horses can be seen against the horizon, manes blowing in the wind, heads uplifted in challenge. In place of hooves, They have great webbed feet that enable them to race over the sands with ease. There is some truth in this, for bands of wild horses do roam the edges of the dunes. They have developed broad hoofs and are usually able to outdistance ordinary steeds in racing across the sands.
Cool.
The only other animals that frequent the dunes are coyotes, foxes, and the occasional skunk. Other story, I feel like there's got to be more to web-footed horses, and eventually I'll find it. But
Yeah.
other stories from the dunes concern the mysterious disappearance of sheep herders and their flocks, presumably in the trackless wastes of the ever-shifting hills. Many of these disappearances can be explained by the fact that sheep herders formerly used Mosca Pass, which crosses the high Sangre de Cristos above the dunes, in taking their flocks to summer pasture. It turns out Mosca is really dangerous.
Oh, okay.
No doubt many flocks were sold or kept permanently on the other side of the mountains, and thus were never seen again. End quote.
Yeah.
One spring, Peter Hansen. So yeah, sometimes things aren't seen again because they're supposed to go over there. One spring, Peter Hansen, an early rancher in the San Luis Valley, ordered his herders to different parts of the range. The most difficult assignment, that of herding sheep past the dunes, was given to an old Mexican herder who set out with 1,000 sheep in a pack train. 2 men accompanied him to the foot of Mosca Pass, from which point he went on alone. When weeks had passed with no word of him, Hansen instituted a search. As far as could be determined, the Mexican never reached the other side of the pass, and nothing was ever heard of him. Or, for that matter, the 1,000 sheep.
That's kind of weird.
That's a lot of sheep to just lose track of.
It's a livelihood worth of sheep to go missing.
Yeah,
exactly. At the time the San Luis Valley was being settled, rough and dangerous Mosca Pass was much used as a freight route. A long wagon train reached the bottom of the pass one night and halted at the edge of the dunes. The River of the Dunes. That's all caps, by the way, capital R, capital D.
It's because they're alive. As someone who lives in Colorado, we talk about the dunes being alive and moving like the wind or the water of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Or a river in this case.
Right.
Apparently shallow, was flowing smoothly across the waste, and the wagons were drawn up together beside it. The mules hobbled and turned out to graze, and the teamsters rolled up in their blankets a short distance away. Next morning, both mules and wagons had vanished and were never found. It is probable that the train dropped into quicksands that occasionally form here, but many persons still credit the disappearance to the supernatural. Told and retold, yes, so there's something out there.
Quicksand doesn't work like that. Like, it's not like it's quick and people drown in it all the time, kinda.
But like a bunch of wagons is not
to take just a bunch of wagons with no like sign of the wagons being in there is absurd to me. Prove me wrong, science.
That's
because I like
which is why it was more likely to have been a giant sand hand that came up, grabbed the wagons, and then shoved them down into the earth.
Now we're talking.
I bet it was that face from the Mummy.
Or that. Told and retold around campfires is the story of the mystery family of the dunes.
The Smiths.
Years ago, the Martinez family, so less of a mystery. We know who they are. Father, mother, and a small son lived on a homestead near the sands. They were not friendly with their neighbors, and little was known of them until one day the boy, dazed and unable to speak, stumbled into a ranch house some miles from his home. Neighbors found the mother and father dead in their cabin, but the cause of their death could not be ascertained. The boy refused to say a word about the tragedy. A farmer provided a home for the lad, who took to a hand tending sheep. When he was out one day, a dust storm arose. When he did not return, the farmer and his men went in search. They tracked the boy and his flock to the edge of the dunes where the trail was lost. The last member of the mystery family had vanished.
Wow.
So yes, stay away from those dunes. Although they are beautiful, you should go visit them.
Yeah, but you could die, Nate.
Yeah.
We got to be honest with our listeners. Visit the beautiful sand dunes of Colorado.
Unless
I could die every time that I go to the top of a building, but I like going up there.
Okay. Visit the dunes unless your name is Martinez. The dunes hunger for your flesh.
Yes, it's the Banshee of the Martinez clan.
Yes.
All right. I'll do. Yeah. Okay. I'll do one more.
Yeah.
This is one that I didn't know about. The headless hatchet lady of Red Rocks.
Oh,
yes.
Yowza.
What the fuck are you talking about? How have I never heard of this?
Yeah.
I felt the same way. The road that runs the east slope of Lookout Mountain has a great view of the city lights, but as a lover's lane, it gets a little crowded. If you and your date require a more secluded spot, there are plenty of half-hidden pullouts along the back roads of Morrison, where you can slip under the wild plum and gamble oak. Ignore the litter of empty beer cans, discarded prophylactics, and coyote scat. It's Lord. Peaceful and private.
People up there banging coyotes.
Yeah. Well, you get drunk enough.
Yeah.
So that's all of the evidence is there.
Are you telling me you've never gotten drunk enough to bang an attractive coyote?
Yes, I am.
Exactly.
If you manage to get close to Red Rocks on summer concert night, you can even enjoy the background thrum of the music. That is until the hatchet lady wanders past. She's known to be less than friendly to people she considers trespassers. That hatchet may be getting dull, but she swings it with surprising force. If you grew up on the west side of the metro area, the Hatchet Lady of Morrison was probably a familiar urban legend. I don't think so. I did not
grow up in that time on the west side.
Maybe you just weren't hanging out with the right people.
Fair.
Yeah, enough juggalos. They know all about hatchet people.
Yeah.
There was likely at least one person at your high school who claimed to have been chased by her, and many more knew someone who had. The older generations claimed she'd been a real person, which led to the reasonable conclusion that the current hatchet lady lurking in Red Rocks Park is a ghost.
Yeah, that would track.
She's an exceptionally angry spirit with special spite reserved for amorous couples and hot boxers.
Okay, so local spiritual narc.
Are y'all kissing in your hot boxes? She bangs on your door with a hatchet.
Y'all kissing? Y'all kissing in there?
There are several variations on the Hatchet Lady story, but this is the one I know. Sometime in the mid-20th century, a poor couple lived on the outskirts of Morrison. He was ill and she was mean and already a little crazy. They struggled to get by. When he died, she lost the house, but she took up residence in one of the many small caves that riddle that section of Dakota Ridge. Her mental health tanked. Soon she took to wandering the edges of town with her hatchet in hand, muttering to herself while she gathered firewood.
Wow.
Been there.
Yeah. Oh, it's just Tuesday. She became more unhinged, more violent with the passing of time. She snarled at anyone she saw, sometimes charging without provocation.
Oh boy.
This
one is much sadder than I anticipated. It's one thing to be like, the hatchet lady, she's scary, but when you hear the whole journey, it's like, oh.
Right.
You don't start off a beautiful baby with the world open to them and end up the hatchet lady without it being a tragic tale.
Okay, fair enough.
She always slipped away before authorities could address the problem. She became a sinister presence among the red sandstone formations along the banks of Bear Creek, especially around dusk and after dark. At some point, she must have died of old age, but that hasn't stopped her harassing anyone foolish enough to wander Upper Bear Creek at night or presumptuous enough to sit in their car on an unlit stretch of winding road. If anything, taking spectral form has liberated her. The hatchet lady appears as a hag, dirty and ragged, bony, hunched, with a formidable nest of gray hair. She moves with astonishing speed and strength. When she swings her hatchet, she yowls like an animal and bares her gapped yellow teeth. She'll chase you on foot or in your car, but everyone seems to lose her at some point. So the next time you enjoy a good smoke on a quiet night near Red Rocks, keep an eye out for that hatchet lady.
Hell yeah.
Can you imagine the Red Rocks Corporation who has to deal with the Hatchet Lady sightings and how it is disrupting ticket sales to Red Rocks?
We hope you folks enjoy Taylor Swift at Red Rocks next weekend. Remember to bring a hatchet to fend off the attacks of the Hatchet Woman. Only hatchets can harm her ancient, terrifying form. I'm Casey Kasem, speaking to you from beyond the grave.
There's just a circular stop sign, but instead of it saying stop, it's just a lady with a hatchet over two kids kissing. It's like a no kissing sign.
Stop kissing.
The hatchet lady will come. She will
folks,
kill you.
A hatchet splitting a spliff in half.
Yeah, the hatchet lady chasing Blues Traveler. Folks, there you have it. Some Colorado legends to cap off this episode of Werewolf Radar. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Cheesebot, Janet Bravo, kicking it in the Zoom room. Y'all are the best. If you are a Dark Council member, please know that you are welcome to come hang with us in the Zoom room every Sunday when we record. You can see all of the bits that get left on the cutting room floor, which isn't a bunch, but boy, they're tasty bits.
The gristle.
The gristle. And if you are not a Dark Council member, please consider helping support the show by going to patreon.com/werewolf radar. You can become a Dark Council member. You get an extra episode every week. You get access to some art, some fiction. So you get the Zoom room key. Plus, you will be helping us to fund our many expeditions to the dark gates that dot this great, terrifying world of ours to help fight back the evil that lurks therein.
And you also get to take part in the monthly Dark Council member Howlout, which is happening right now. The most well-prepared dead guy.
Ow!
This is an organized one moment. Everyone.
Oh, boy.
Start over. We're doing it in order. Nick
I already
Bailey,
started
Michael
transforming.
King,
Ow!
Jason Wardell, Spooky Appalachia, Phil Corridor, Janet Bravo, Bob Ryan, AWOL 51, Amanda, Tobias Livingston, the most well-prepared dead guy, Marcelo Duran, Elliot Broder, Alicia Coy, Cheesebot Doom, Abby Claboo, Ryan Flint, Jessica, Jake Speck, Akirian Soldier, Dean Malik, Dakota Vincent, Brian Ailey, Adric Hinkle, Egon and Felix as our Chancellor of Madness, and now the Dark Lord we all pray to, Spectacular Cooper, the Dark Lord of the Bunker.
Woo! Thank you so much for your support, and to those of you who support just by listening, thank you as well. You could, if you don't have the monies to give us, you can just give us 5 stars anywhere where you find the podcast. Hit a review, hit 5 stars, put the word boogum in there if you can't think of anything to write. But if you give us a review, it really helps people find the pod, and it helps grow the show, as they say.
In fact, do write boogum. For sure, because then people will see the 5-star review and you writing boogum with no context, and it'll make them want to listen even more. What does that mean?
What in the friggin' heck is what they'll be like? Shout out to Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers for our intro and outro song. Check us out on twitch.tv/werewolf_radar. You can come watch us on Mondays where we play D&D and video games and all kinds of shit. Who knows? All kinds of shit. Who knows what else will happen there?
Things go down.
Thank you guys for listening to Werewolf Radar. Until next time, as always, our sign-off line on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky!
Spaceman
Joe.